Okay, sure, he had a body in his car, but they only found that out because they were harassing this poor tax-paying citizen who just wanted to visit his ill father. I don't know why they were so, sir, your boot, sir, the boot, sir. Like, the guy even went in to like, do the thing himself, and Isaac had to be like... What do you do if you're driving along a dark, abandoned road at night in the middle of a downpour and you're pulled over by 2 police officers? What do you do when they inform you that you have a busted taillight and ask you to open the boot so that they can inspect it? Oh, and I almost forgot. You have a dismembered dead body in your car's boot. Do you keep your cool or do you take your chances and drive off? Everybody's gangster till they hear, "Sir, please step out of the car and put your hands on your head."
So what would you do?
Oh, let's
pause the video right now. Go and read The Devil's Code by
Michael Wood. And when you've read it, you can join us for the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Icha Library.
So, what did you think of the book?
I quite enjoyed parts of it. I enjoyed it. Look, I'm going to just say I enjoyed it. My rating at the end of this video is not going to reflect what I've just said, but I enjoyed it.
What did I think of the book? I hear you ask.
I'm never not going to get caught. I'm never not going to get caught by that.
So what? Do you not care about what
No, it's not. It's just because I'm just thinking about what I'm saying. You've asked me a question, I'm like thinking about it.
You're thinking about what you said after you said it.
I'm thinking about what I've just said.
Yeah, so you're thinking about what you said after you've said it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking...
Most people think before they speak.
No, but it's like, I thought before I've spoken, and I think twice before and
I know
after.
what it is. You think you're cooking, innit? You're just proud of how you just
That's
cooking.
what I'm saying. I think everyone's waiting to hear my wisdom, my gospel truth.
So yes, I thought the book was... I'll give it one word. Disappointed. Again. I was expecting more. Was it better than the first book? Yes. Was it where it should be? Definitely not. Definitely. And Michael Woody, the elements are there. He just needs some... He needs a slap. You didn't think I was going to say that?
Sharp backhand.
Yeah. Let's get into it. How many have you got, by the way?
I've got
5.
6.
Oh.
Look at that. It's almost like we're planning this.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, you go first then.
All right. Killer opening chapter. We don't know who Isaac McFadden is. We don't know where he's coming from or where he's going. All we know about him is that he's a liar. His dad doesn't have cancer or Alzheimer's or anything else. These are inventions that Isaac has concocted to throw the police officers pulling him over off his scent. Unfortunately for Isaac, little does he know he has a busted taillight, and the police officers insist on inspecting his boot. If you're Isaac and you know you have a dismembered corpse in your boot, what do you do? Personally, I would have said, cat's out of the bag, drove off.
Yeah, 100%.
Evading police in a vehicle on a dark, wet road is not the best idea, but if you think I'm going to sit there and chill while they look in the boot,
yeah, that's
you
crazy.
Don't know you're dealing with love.
That's crazy.
It's no other option.
Let me say mine and then we'll go into it. Is this book going to improve on the first? It's going to have more action from the serial killer like we prescribed. The first chapter was very good. We had the "I can always tell when the victim isn't okay" spiel, and also the "open your boots, sir" scene, which had me locked in. Police officers, by a stroke of luck, happened to pull over a serial killer. So because this serial killer, by the name of Isaac, had a body chopped up in his boot, he decided to act as suspicious as humanly possible. Legit. Not to mention, he also had a tail light out, which is the most boring and played out method of having the baddies get caught. Why couldn't we just have the tension-filled scene where the serial killer somehow gets away because of lazy policing? You know, the police officers could have pulled alongside him and not wanting to get out or to get wet because of the storm or something of that nature. That would have given us the tension and then allowed for more serial killer content. Why the hell are we catching the serial killer at the start of the book? Is the author trying his absolute best to write another boring book? Why did we catch the serial killer straight away? First scene, we didn't even get in there.
Look, we don't even know if he's a serial killer.
We didn't even start the bloody book.
Yeah, legit.
We're in the first
That was
page.
basically a prologue. That wasn't even chapter 1. That
The
was
first
basically
page,
a prologue.
he gets caught. What kind
First
of...
word.
Joseph, if you're writing a serial killer book, why are you catching him in the bloody beginning?
What
kind of bullshit is that?
I did think that as well, because I was thinking there's got to be something. There's
You know
got to be
what I was
something
like?
more.
I just praised him for that opening. Oh yeah.
No, it was good.
Yeah,
Like you said, I was locked in.
man. But now that's over. What the Bloody hell.
Do you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
so good you forgot. Wait, we've caught him already.
That was so annoying to me because I started reading the book and I was like, oh, it's gonna. This is the suspenseful moment,
And then you're thinking he's gonna get away,
and I'm like, wait, he's been caught. So what are we gonna do for the rest of the book? What, be boring? And that's exactly what happened.
I wasn't annoyed that they caught the serial killer in the beginning. I did have questions. I was thinking, so what's gonna be? Do you see what I'm saying? Why are we reading this? Seriously, why are the police bothering Isaac? Leave him alone! So he's got a busty tail light, so what? He said he'll take it to a garage, that's it. I don't understand why they were so insistent on him opening his boot. Nobody ever made a song called Fuck the Fire Department, and now we know why. Okay, sure, he had a body in his car, but they only found that out because they were harassing this poor, tax-paying citizen who just wanted to visit his ill father. I don't know why they were so, sir, your boot, sir, the boot, sir. Like, the guy even went in to do the thing himself, and Isaac had to be like... But it's like, why are we bothering him? Like, he said, busted tail light, they told him, he was like, cool, I'll take it to a garage tomorrow. That's it. They was like, open your boot so we can look at it. Isaac would be like, are you going to fix it now?
Yeah.
You get your tools out?
Exactly.
Like what? Why are you bothering me?
Well, that's going to void my warranty.
Thank you. That's what I would have said. I would have been like, my insurance doesn't permit that. You're police. You're not an engineer, bro. Like, leave it alone.
What if you mess something up? You damage something. You're going to pay for it.
Put the fries in the bag. Do your job, bro. Do your job. That's it.
Literally. So Eleanor, who's Isaac's daughter, the man accused of being a murderer, the evidence being that he was found with dismembered body parts in his boot. Anyway, Eleanor decides to call up Olivia, the main character, the serial killer psychologist, to tell her that she's found a diary belonging to her dad that's written in code. She's also found a box that has random items in it, things that didn't belong to her dad. A woman's ring, a Casio watch. In short, there were 10 random items. Anybody that's watched any TV in their life will be able to tell you immediately that those look like items. Those items look like trophies from a serial killer.
Yeah.
So if you find your father's trophies, realistically, are you going to hand all that incriminating information into the police? Remember, your father's already in prison.
Yeah.
He's doing 20 years.
20 years. Minimum 20 years.
Would you really bring that evidence to light to that which would ensure he gets the death penalty? Joseph, what would you do? Do you hide the evidence so that one day your father may come out of prison?
I would have just put it back. I would have put it back where I found it. It's like, bro, this guy's in prison for minimum 20 years.
Yeah, you don't need to bury him. Surely,
put him under the jail.
Of course, the problem is a serial killer is no small thing. After you've got a way of killing, that is a high that you can't replicate until you do it again. What I would have liked Eleanor to do is take the trophies to TikTok, go viral. She should be trying to generate revenue from this situation. Maybe she could become a nuisance to the dominant killer who was on the loose, and maybe he could kill Eleanor halfway through the book, which could then convince Isaac to start working with the police to catch his partner, who's the other serial killer at large. Maybe Isaac could have even created some misdirection and a distraction to help him escape prison. Would that not have been a better angle to go from? Because Isaac was pointless throughout the whole book.
Yeah, no, of course. Which is the problem. Yeah,
he literally sat in the prison, smiled at them. Oh, well, you don't know who it is. I'm not telling you nothing.
And they got cooked
He got cooked to the end, but he was still completely pointless. He served no purpose.
That's the problem you get when you catch a serial killer in the first chapter.
No, but it's okay. You can have them caught, but then you got to be doing up the Joker in captivity.
Remember the first Olivia Winter book where the dad, Olivia Winter's dad, Tap in.
Because he was good.
Shit. He was doing all that shit.
That's what we want. Those type of things can't get played out. They can't be boring. As long as the serial killer is behind bars doing a madness, causing mayhem.
I just realised where she blundered. She should have had the real serial killer caught and then have the accomplice still on the loose. Because that's when you would get you would have the accomplice still on the loose. You would have Isaac still on the loose. Yeah. You know, Isaac wasn't like the driving force behind the whole thing. He was just there for the vibes, essentially.
Yeah.
When you have that person on the loose, then you can have like the real mastermind in jail. They could do the smile and the joke a bit.
Just made Isaac the mastermind.
All that, you know.
There's so, like anything apart from what was done would have been better. This was the worst thing you could do. Catch the serial killer straight away and then have us looking for some bloody code.
Yeah, nah. In that notebook.
Who gives a fuck about the code? People are already dead.
Yeah,
Why
no,
do we
they
need to
don't.
find their bodies? So annoying.
They want justice for the
Justice,
victims.
schmustice.
Okay. I'm not sure that's the court's mandate. Justice, schmustice. Yeah, they needed justice for the victims,
We
man.
need justice.
You know, the families want to know what happened to my...
Let me just ask you this. What's more interesting? Trying to track down a serial killer or cracking a code
Well, they
in a diary?
could be the same thing. You ever tracked down a serial killer before? This book star is 5 out of 5 stars so far. After a killer opening chapter, we get to see Isaac's daughter Eleanor reeling from his arrest and subsequent trial, where he is convicted for murder and sentenced to prison for a minimum sentence of 20 years! I know it's murder, but can you imagine what it's like to sit there in that little box and hear the judge bang the gavel and know you're going down for 20 years? 20 years is 175,000 hours and change. Sitting in that box, and they said he didn't even fight. He didn't fight. He didn't take the stand. He didn't plead. He didn't do anything. He just sat there and let them bang the gavel, send him down for 20 years. I don't know, but me personally,
Dismembering somebody. I assume maybe they couldn't prove that he murdered them, and because surely you should get life for that, and a dismembering as well.
in the blurb it said he got life, but then in the book it said he got minimum 20 years. So I guess life is minimum 20 years, and then it's like 20 years, like
And then maybe
if
you
you're
can come out on
eligible for
license.
parole. Yeah, if you're eligible for parole or something like that, I guess.
Trying to crack codes always makes for a boring read. We as the readers know that the main character is going to struggle for a large portion, if not the whole book, and then find out the mystery behind the code at the end of the book. This is boring for us readers as we know there is no action to come. And that's the story of this book, so I would never recommend code cracking for the main plot. This book was boring for a vast majority of it. Nothing really happened. Apparently there's a second killer on the loose, but we're no closer to catching them. It seems like our only hope of catching the killer is this poxy-coded diary. What's more, when the code was cracked, it wasn't even clever. Some symbols were corresponding the numbers at the top row of the keyboard. So they had like the pound sign as 3, exclamation mark as 1. And the way Olivia cracked it, it just came to her randomly. Oh, I think that's it.
Yeah, nah.
Can you imagine? It's nearly half the book, and Olivia hasn't even met Isaac, who's sitting in prison. You expect that's one of the first things she'd do.
Like, what else would you do first?
I'm going to sit here cracking this code, but we've got the serial killer inside. Grill him.
Legit. Why have they not like done more than grill him? Actually,
Actually grill him.
yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, instead she's just picking on random neighbours and re-interviewing them. Is this what people want from mystery detective books? Just talking and no action? Because this is what we see time and time again. As an author, why would you choose to have a boring dialogue instead of the second serial killer going on a killing spree and Olivia chasing leads and visiting crime scenes for clues? Explain that one to me.
So basically, you're saying she should have made this book the first book.
Yeah, but even
But
even in the first book, there wasn't. Oh yeah, there was a guy who was doing some kills.
Yeah, because he was a copycat.
Yeah. He was. Yeah, you're right. Make it the first book just a bit better.
Yeah,
Instead, don't take out the one good thing that you had in the first book and make this boring. Also, this series also needs some globetrotting. The amount of serial killers on the loose in England is completely unrealistic. Olivia should be an international serial killer catcher. That would make it interesting. I mean, the options are endless. Serial killers could be sending footage of recent kills to Olivia. We could have had serial killers mailing body parts to Olivia. Instead, we have this. I think Michael Wood needs a slap. I'd be happy to carry out his sentence.
Sharp backhand.
Michael Wood. Jesus.
More like Michael wouldn't.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I have a feeling that the author is planning to set us up to reveal that Isaac wasn't the killer after all. In the initial chapter, Isaac didn't outright confess to the crimes, neither did he take the stand during his trial, but he definitely knew that there was a dismembered body in the boot of his car. So if he knew the body was there but he didn't put it there, it means that Isaac knows who's guilty but he's not saying. And if he's not saying, then that could mean he's being threatened into this. Pretty hard to threaten a man to 20 years imprisonment though, which only leaves one option. He's not being threatened, rather he's protecting somebody. Yeah. And he has a daughter.
Yeah,
that would have been
too obvious.
I wonder. Yeah, but I've learned not to put these things past these authors. These too obvious, like don't put that past them. Just like go for
He thinks he's cooking.
Yeah. He thinks he's cooking. And it's like, sometimes authors think, oh, I don't want to be too complicated. So they go for something that's too obvious. Like, too obvious and
That
too
would
complicated is
never.
all.
He could never. As I was reading it, I was thinking,
Yeah.
yeah, you could not do that.
Because, do you know what it is? They don't write these books for people that read as much of this genre as we do. Do you know what I mean? They just write it for whatever.
Yeah, they're the next new big
They just
thing.
let me cook, bro.
Yeah.
Just let me cook.
Wow, the first bit of suspense for the whole book, and it's right at the end. Olivia's intern, Ryan, gets got. This should have happened halfway through the bloody book. We want the serial killer to want to best the infamous Olivia. And getting her intern, somebody who's under Olivia's wing, that's what we want to see. We want to be reminded that hunting serial killers is a dangerous job. So fair enough, we got that, albeit at the end of the book. And of course it was executed terribly. Leslie, who was Isaac's next door neighbor, his partner in crime, literally. Leslie was a serial killer. I've just lost my thingies. I was cooking, you know. Leslie, who was Isaac's next door neighbor, was his partner in crime. Literally, Leslie was the serial killer partner who Olivia was looking for the whole book. If you're thinking that because it was a shit twist, then it will at least be revealed in such an amazing adrenaline-filled climatic way, then think again. This Leslie was slicing up body parts in Isaac's house, which was already an active crime scene. She was just caught with her pants down. Mr. Michael Wood, do you expect us to believe that the serial killer, one that's extremely careful and very successful, one that has a body count of at least 10 murders, is going to be so careless in dismembering a bodies in an actual active crime scene where anybody can just stumble in and catch her red-handed? What? The ending was just rushed. What the bloody hell was that ending all about?
I feel like he was legit the let me cook thing again, because he was like, oh, it wasn't the door, it was the neighbor. And like, now that I've done that, now that I've dropped that, yeah, scene, roll credits.
Like, what? And it all Ryan just walked in and found her. And it was just the next door neighbor, like, what?
Just sort of like the police just pulled up and found Isaac, get it? So it kind of makes sense.
Gosh, it was just rubbish.
A game of coincidences. Okay, so Leslie had the skeletons in her closet instead of Eleanor. I feel like I should get points for this, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. What I will give the author credit for is that he had the balls to have Leslie murder Eleanor, which is honestly the most psychopathic and senselessly chaotic thing that Leslie could have done. I guess the lesson of this book is, after God, fear women. But
yeah, I did like that, but as I said, that should have been brought forward halfway through the book. Then we can have Isaac start working with the police. All right, I know this, that, that would make him...
Bro, when she killed her, I forgot for a moment. That's Isaac's daughter.
No, I remembered
partner.
straight away. I was like, oh my gosh.
I said, oh my gosh, but then after I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, as I said, that was a tension-filled scene. And we got the only tension-filled scene at the end of the book, which, you know...
It was so silly, though, because she was like, oh, I'm going to take all three of you out. And it was like, well, you're not. They was like, you're not. And then she was like, yeah, watch this. Killed Eleanor, rushed my man, and he went slapped on the floor, and that was it.
Well, either way, Eleanor just jumped into the woman's hands anyway. Because everybody was back, and Eleanor said, oh, you're not going to do that, whatever. And then she said, yeah, yoink.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? First one of you to talk is getting it.
Wait, did Eleanor actually die?
Yeah, Eleanor died. They confirmed it.
They tried to save her.
Yeah,
and they brought her into the hospital.
And then they even went to what's her name? Olivia went to Isaac to torment him further, to be like, your daughter's dead.
Yeah.
Which I was like, is she a good person? Is she a good guy?
Why do we have the bad guy monologue at the end, just before the baddie gets caught? Is that not just embarrassing for the author? We've got Leslie confessing all the crimes.
Legit. Let her cook.
After we find out Leslie is the other member of the serial killer duo, she decides to literally spill the tea in the middle of a standoff as she holds the scalpel to Eleanor's neck.
Classic supervillain shit, man. She called me monologuing.
There was a bit of tension, I'll give the author that. But we had Leslie confess that the first guy she killed was by accident, a guy she met off Tinder that tried to rape her. I think she bashed him over the head with something. She went to Isaac for help, and he decided to get rid of the body. Now, this is a stupid plot line to follow. Once the alleged rapist is reported missing, phone records are going to show that you was the last person to meet them, and you will get caught. If you are killing in self-defense, call the police. The police are going to arrive on the scene with him on the floor, with his cock out. They're going to see that it's the first time two parties have met, and they'll put two and two together. There's no way you'll see the inside of the prison for that. What you don't do is start going on a killing spree, even if it helps your boyfriend get a boner. Isaac couldn't get it up unless he killed the sick fuck.
There was some
weird
long
storyline.
There was some long ass word that they used, like some filial word that I can't even pronounce it. And when I can't pronounce words, you know it's madness. But
what was it? Danger made him get a boner.
Yeah, legit.
Michael Wood, give up. The fact
Nothing
that
else
you've
works.
decided to do this when you could have had Isaac, the serial killer, tell gruesome stories to disturb Olivia Winters while she was questioning him. We could have just had Isaac tell gruesome stories. He could have been completely unhelpful, but just told gruesome stories.
Yeah, that's true.
You reminded me of one that I killed before.
Yeah,
you
it
got
just
her
needs
right.
more. It
Like,
needed
come
more
on.
thought. It needed more thought in that. To be honest, it needed more. It's like you said, Isaac's presence in the story was just like ineffective. There was no point to it.
I can't.
It didn't give us anything.
You can't even find the point. Like you can't even. There's literally no reason why it's there. So wouldn't you just, if you wrote that, or even if I had Michael Wood right here, I'd say, what's the fucking point? What's the fucking point of Isaac? Tell me that. What did he bring to the story? Nothing. Why?
He'd be silent.
Say why?
He just like.
But yeah, it's just so much ideas that Michael Wood just decided not to do. Tapping ideas. It just means you're not cut out for this. Please cease and desist, or you'll be the next on my victim list. Yes, I've just threatened to kill you because you deserve it. But yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, there was room for a much better execution than this, to be honest. I like the suggestion that you made about Isaac telling gruesome stories, to be honest, because it's literally, as you call it, a tap-in. That's like, it's not even adding more scenes with Isaac in there. It's just changing the scenes that's already there to like make it more impactful. And then, yeah, obviously at the end, it was super duper rushed. I did like the twist though. I did like that. He kind of, who's even to say whether he meant to do this, but I like how he kind of set us up to think, oh, maybe the daughter was the one that did it, and then it turned out to be Leslie, the neighbor. But I didn't hate the idea that they was in like this kind of weird, sick relationship where he can't get a boner unless.
I
didn't hate it. I honestly did not hate it.
Why are you? So you're doing it just so that you can not.
Crimes of passion. I get it. I get it. I don't hate the idea, and I wouldn't take it out. If I was going to change the story, I wouldn't take that out. I would leave it in because I feel like it interested me. But it definitely does need to be done better, to be honest. You never tried Pornhub? No, nothing. Went straight to murdering people. Fair enough.
What would you give the book out of 5?
I'd give it a 2. I was going to say 3, but
I
was
would
scared
give
it was
it a
going to hit
2,
me.
but because it's a serial killer book that doesn't have key components, you've caught the serial killer immediately.
Yeah, it hasn't
You
done the
haven't told
basics
me any
well.
gruesome
Hasn't done the basics
stories.
well.
Have we? We didn't get to see anything. Yeah, we didn't get to see nothing. We didn't get to see anybody get killed.
No, saw Eleanor get murked.
Oh yeah, we got yeah. That's true.
She got her throat slit as well. Like that's big.
That's for that reason. 1.
Okay, you on smoke today?
No, but it's like, how do you write such a boring serial killer book? You've taken all the components out and given us Olivia cracking some code
Yeah, I get
for a diary. Who gives a fuck about that?
and Olivia, for that matter.
So yeah, and this they took out. What was it? Stanley. In the last book, we had Stanley the dog. We cared about him.
Well, I mean,
In this book, we didn't even get any
I'm
Stanley.
gonna be real. I don't like the whole pets thing. Like people
Yeah,
do.
it's
I
just
don't
so
like
boring.
It. I don't
It's
like
boring.
it. You know what's funny? This is totally off topic, but Chloe read The Crash, and she was like, "Oh, she loves tuna," and I said, "All right." Just put this down. I just don't like when people
Well, I
do this
didn't
whole...
hate that, to be fair. I
No,
didn't hate
I
that.
hate
Well,
it.
it's a pregnant bum, so it's different. It's not a pet.
It's basically a pet. Till it's born, it's basically a pet. Well, you feed it. It's
that
always
it?
around. It's always around.
No,
Look
it
after
did
it.
serve the purpose of a pet, but this isn't about the crash, so we don't need
No,
to
it
talk
isn't.
about
But
the crash.
I'm just saying that the whole pets thing,
Yeah,
I just
it's
don't
just
like
boring.
it.
It's
I don't
played
like
out.
it. And
It's
I've
played
seen it many different ways, many different like types of. I've never liked any of them.
Boring. It's boring.
Stop. Don't do it. Again.
Unless you're gonna kill the pet off.
Yes, okay, that I can hear. That I can hear, but they never do.
Yeah,
So,
no, exactly. They don't. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly. All right. So we both agree that it was a 1. It's terrible. Don't read it.
Well, I'm still sticking to what I said. I said 2. I'm gonna stand on what I
2?
said because there's books I've put a 1, which is
It was
unfair
2
to put on a
divided
level
by
of this.
2. 1.
Yeah, I was about to say I can't do maths. So you're gonna have to walk me through that
let's
one.
end with quote of the day. I'm gonna go first.
Go on.
Quote of the day: "You can't spell a million without a couple L's."
That's really good. That's really good. That is really good.
Yeah, no, I loved. When I saw that, I was like,
said,
"Yes."
"Let me
Because
cook."
I didn't even. I wasn't searching for a quote of the day. I was going about my
Oh,
business.
that's the best.
And
The
I
best
saw
ones
that,
where
I was
like
like,
that's
bloody hell, that
bad
was
boy
hard.
quote of the day,
I took
yeah.
it off someone on Snap. I didn't tell them it was good though.
Oh, of course not. You never do
wanted to
that.
think.
You know when like someone's playing a song that you like, but you don't want to ask them what's the song
Oh,
called?
you just
I don't want you to feel like, no, your music taste isn't good. Just Shazam that shit, bro. Just look slightly, yeah.
And keep it quiet.
I don't want to give you a little ego boost. Fuck you.
Oh gosh.
Quote of the day. Life is short. Smile while you still have teeth.
That ties in nicely as I've just spent £375 at the dentist.
You spent my net worth when you're dentist. Mad. Wealth.
Oh gosh. Alright. I guess it's time to end it.
It is time to end. Don't read this book. If you take anything from this video, don't read this book. I mean, there was things I enjoyed about it, but
No, you didn't. Till next time.
till next time.